Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is what is today? Today is Thursday, October 23rd, and I lost track of the days already. It's I thought today was Wednesday. But yeah, today is Thursday, guys. Happy Thursday, everyone. It is 6:20 right now. We got about 10 minutes till market open, so we got some time. Let me drag this over real quick. Looks good. Looks like people are making their way in. All right, cool. Just let in the first wave of people. So let's see. Looks good. Looks good. Hey, Will, morning. Jao's asking, sorry to bother you. How much do you make in percentage profit you're trading? It's possible to follow your trades. Yeah, it's possible to follow my trades. Majority of people here do follow my trades. If you want to see my stats for the year so far, these are my stats. So for the month, these are my profits for this week. Currently, I only took two trades, so two trades right here. Total profit of 74,450 for the month so far. Currently up 401,240 for the year. These are the total stats. So I trade live every day. Um, every trade here has been documented because it's all part of the live session. So from January 2nd up until today, these are the gross profits, 1,016,895. Percentage wise, it's probably I mean we could check on the disk. So if you want just like percentage, like no profit, the percentage wise for this year so far is all the stats are posted on the Discord. So let's just go to Sunday. Every week it's going to be posted. So right now we're currently 95 wins, 51 losses, total points of 2,110 points, 46.15% gain for the year so far. So decent gain right there. About 46, yeah, 46.15. All right, so looks like sorry, I'm just answering a bunch of other questions here as we prepare for market open. So, all right, guys, looks like a majority of you guys are here so far. So, good morning, guys, or about half of you guys. Again, today is Thursday, October 23rd. It is 6:22 right now. We got market opening up in about uh, 8 minutes. My first entry isn't until 6:46, so I'm not really looking to take anything, or obviously I'm not going to take anything until then. That's going to be the first entry. It's target entry. It's going to be against momentum. It has a 66.67% probability of it winning overall for a 1 to 2 risk to reward. It's my target entry. It has a 81.82% probability of it winning for a sell, and it's won one out of the three recent Thursdays. So if you want to take this trade, aim for a sell. The stats for that, let me go ahead and put them in right here. So it's 846 or 646. 846 Central, 646 Pacific against momentum. There we go. We got the statistics right there. It looks pretty decent. I mean, it's a pretty decent trade, looks like, for the most part. Like I said, 66.67 overall. 42.86% probability for buys. Not horrible, but not good. And then 81.82% for sell. So obviously it won 9 out of the 11 previous sell entries. So if I was to take that in, try to look for a possible sell there. Looking at the historical trades, so on the 16th it won right here. On the 9th it lost, and on the 1st it won. So won wait, is that right? No, second. And lost on the second. So basically won one out of the previous three trades. So it's not like a super, super amazing entry, but the probabilities are there. It meets criteria, so probably going to be one that I'm going to maybe look to take. So, all right, guys, let's see who's here so far. Morning, Lila. Morning, Ryan. Morning, Karen. Morning, Talanji. Morning, Maria. Let's see. Ryan said morning. Sounds like with this one, day to pass eval, a YOLO on the breakout is in order. Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. So, guys, if you guys didn't see my post in the Discord, this is probably one of the best times to maximize your Apex accounts, right? Because right now they have a promo going on. So let's go over here real quick to the announcements. And I'll repost this again. So basically right now, Apex is running 80% off and 1 day to pass. So it's pretty cheap right now for these accounts, right? If you want to get a 50K account or if you want to go for the bigger account, I mean, you guys can go for the 300K. They're pretty cheap right now. So if you go for 150, so here's the different levels. It's 50K to pass as quickly as and as easy as possible. 150K is going to be a little more difficult, but it's going to be very manageable. 300K is going to be a bit more difficult, but you're going to make more profit in the long run. So if you can hold off for like maybe a couple of weeks, and you can just keep running that 300K, you're gonna make more profit in the long run. But if you want to just pass right away, get some payouts, and then go for the 300 later, you can do that. So right now it's currently the 50K is like dirt cheap. It's like I think under like 30 bucks or something like that. But if you want to do a 150, 250, or 300, it's going to be only $78 or 79.40. So it's pretty cheap. And then you have until the 28th to pass your account. So right now it is currently the 23rd. You have about, let's see, one, two. Well, it's not going to be that easy. You're only going to have like 2 days to pass. But if you guys already have an account which is currently running, um, you have a nice little timeline right there to possibly pass your account. You go with the higher probability entries and possibly pass because a lot of people are looking for the discount and they're trying to get it done right away and you can get it done pretty quickly. If you use proper risk or you use a proper contract size for these algo trades, we've been having like 7 back-to-back wins, 8 back-to-back wins, 6 back-to-back wins this entire week. I think a lot of you guys here have passed. Um, yeah, like this week, it seems like everybody passed their evals if they were in an eval phase. And the good thing is that if you pass them within the time period, then you get this promo. Because the thing is, the PA fees, these are usually like $100 or like $200, but they're only 85, so it's a pretty good deal if you can finish within a couple days. With regard to the 1 day to pass, usually if you're doing an eval, you have to trade for I think like 5 days, 5 or 7 days to get to that pass phase. Like you have to trade not consecutively, but actively for 7 days. 1 day to pass means that you can kind of YOLO a trade. I don't recommend it, but I mean it's possible, right? If you take a trade and you go for X amount of points, and say you pass it within 1 day, that means 1 day to pass. Um, yeah, it's tricky. They do this on purpose. So here's the thing. They have the promo going on till the 28th. I'm gonna be honest, I think they're gonna push it back till the 31st to Halloween. They always do that. They give you a couple days to like pass the account, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna extend this another week because it's Halloween or for whatever holiday. They're probably gonna do that. They do that for people to kind of YOLO that's why I'm saying don't YOLO your account, but do enough to like get close to passing, right? Like if you're doing like normally 3 contracts, maybe bump that to 4 contracts. If you're doing 5 contracts, bump that to 6. Like maybe go up 1 or 2 contracts, but don't like go to 10 contracts or something, to pass it with one YOLO trade. Give yourself at least a little bit of cushion, like to take 2 or 3 trades. So. That's just my 2 cents. Yeah, I've been trading with Apex for a while. I know their tricks, sort of, in a sense, because they do this all the time. Um, yeah, Richard said it's 80% the first month and 50% if you don't pass within a month. Yeah, exactly. But if you're following the algo trades, you should be able to pass within a month, right? Because, looking at the statistics over here, let's just go to the calendar. Like realistically, like here, let's just do the math real quick. So say for example, and market's gonna open up short. Let me just analyze real quick and then we'll do the statistics. So the breakout for today, guys, is going to be if you're taking the breakout on open, it's gonna be a buy. So buy entry right there. If you guys are looking to take it, market's gonna open in about 40 seconds. So if you guys want to take that there, we don't have a algo entry at open. So this is kind of just gonna be a regular breakout entry. Looking at the statistics so far, let's take a look at the trend. So overall trend over here is bullish neutral on the lower time frames. You can see prices above the pivots, trend meters green, pivots are angling up on the 1 minute, and same on the 5 minute. So the 1 and 5 are bullish. The 15 minute here is neutral bearish because prices below the pivots, the trend meter is blue red, and the pivots are angling down. Looking over here on the higher time frames, 30 minute, 1 hour, and a 4 hour, they're on the bearish neutral side. 30 minutes bearish, prices below the pivots, trend meter is red, pivots are angling down. Same with the 1 hour, and the 4 hour is right in between. So the entry right there for the buy looks like it already hit. Yeah. So there goes the entry for the buy right there, guys. Or it's still running. So if you wanted to take the breakout just, you can see the long position is right there, right? So there goes the entry for breakout on open. If you guys are doing the 50-50, it looks like the 50-50 is on its way up. If you guys are doing the 40-20, it looks like the 40-20 already hit. So depending on what your criteria is for the entry, 50-50 is about to hit full TP right there. There you go, full TP. And if you guys are going for the bigger move, 80-40, that one is still running. But you can see over here that the 50-50 has already hit full TP for the breakout. So if you guys took that breakout on open, nice work, full TP on that for 50 points. I called that right before market opened up. If you guys were paying attention, I mentioned the breakout for those of you who were looking, was right there. And then let's see, the orb over here is going to set up in a few moments. Yeah, so there you go, breakout, full TP, 50 points right there. Or again, like I said, depending on what you guys wanted to go for, if you wanted to go for the 40 also hit, but there goes the breakout for 50. Yeah, solid move right there. 50 points straight up. 29. Yeah, looks like it lined up perfect. It's still pushing up. So if you're going for that full 80, I mean, the 80 is still on its way up. It's on its way right there. There you go. Full TP for 80 if you guys went for the 80 points. So, depending on what you guys set up, it doesn't really matter. They all hit. So if you went for 80 points, it would have hit. If you went for 40 points, it would have hit, obviously. If you went for 50 points, that also would have hit. But the full 80 right there got hit. So if you're following, Talangi's statistics, he likes to go for the 80-40. He doesn't take it anymore, but from the statistics, the 2-to-1 works better here, 80-40. And that goes there it goes for the breakout on open. So solid move right there for that breakout on open. Looking over here at the orb has not closed yet. The orb is going to close right now. So the orb high right here is going to be at 46,806 if you guys are looking to take the orb sell or the orb low. It's right. Obviously, you go for the orb high. There's no reason to take the orb low. So it's about to break it right now. Price broke it. The orb is about to set up right now. So if you guys are looking to take that orb, you gotta wait for it to break and close past that orb high. But looking at the algo again, like we talked about earlier, there's no entries until 646. So again, let's do the math for Apex, guys. If you guys are trying to pass your Apex account, well, let's see. If you're doing a 50K account, you basically need 3,000 to pass, right? So 3,000 to pass. Um, But look, we're going to base it off the trailing drawdown. So we're not going to base it off the time to pass, but we're going to base it off the trailing drawdown. So trailing drawdown is 2,500. This is how you guys can do the math to understand what you need to pass the account. So 2,500, you're going to divide that by basically 3 trading days if you want to pass it really quickly, right? So basically your max loss per trade is going to be 833. You can't really risk more than that, or you're going to really risk your account. So basically to do the math, you're going to you're basically going to try to shoot for this much risk, but you're going to shoot for double the profit, right? So 833 times 2 is how much profit you're likely to make per trade. So if your goal is to reach 3,000, which is a target goal, and you're going to divide that by 1,666, you really just need 2 winning days, right? If you have 2 winning days on a 50K account, you'll be able to pass your account fairly quickly. Like you just really need 2 winning trading days. And you can see over here for October, how many winning trading days have we had? A ton, right? So like you could have passed your like within this period here, there was 2 winning days here, there's 2 winning days here, there's 2 winning days here. There's like so many opportunities to pass your 50K. That's why a lot of people here pass their 50K right away. Because you only need 1.8 trading days, right? Or trades really, if you're doing the math properly. So yeah, if you guys want to, pass right away or have the opportunity, you can do that. And if you want to take it easier, you can even divide this by 2. So instead of having 1.8 trading days, you'll just have 3.2 trading days, right? We multiply this by 2. Like if you want to take it very like somewhat conservatively, you'll just you'll do that and you'll multiply it by 2. So now you just need 3.6 trading days to, or 3.6 trades to pass your eval. So guys, just like our strategy here for the algo, you just have to do the math, right? Do the equation, understand how much you can risk, understand how much you need to make. And if you do the math properly, you'll understand what contract size you need to use to get to that point, right? And if you need help with that, I can show you. You just have to understand how to do the math. The math isn't very difficult. You just have to understand the equation. So like I said earlier, if you're going to risk this much, 833 per trade, you're going to be risking quite a bit. Like honestly, you're going to be, if you screw up, you're going to blow the account. Like you're going to blow the account. But if you don't screw up and you do the math properly, you're not going to blow the account. So like to risk this much, 800, well, let's see, I'll do the math for you again right here. I think that might be like 6 or 7 contracts. So 6 times 5 times 20. Okay, a little bit higher. So 7 times 5 times 20. Maybe a little higher. 8 times 5 times 20. Yeah, so like 800. So this is how much you're looking to risk, right? You're looking to risk, basically, you'd use 8 contracts. This is like so you could pass right away. You use 8 contracts. Um, so you're going to be risking 800 to make uh 1600, right? So again, if you're doing 3000, if you need 3000 to pass your 50K count, you divide that by 1600, you only need 1.8 trades to win. You basically need 1.5 trades to pass your 50K count. So it's possible. Like I said, the promo is going on right now until the 28th. You basically have 3 days. You have today, Friday, and Monday to pass, or 4 days actually. Today, Friday, Monday, and Tuesday to pass. And if you can get 2 winning trades within that time period, you should be able to pass a 50K. So again, just do the math, guys. I'm not here to 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 um to convince you guys to YOLO your account. But if you are looking to YOLO, which is a good amount of you guys, because you just want to get funded right away, right? With Apex, your main goal is really to get funded. Once you're funded, don't trade like that anymore. Lower your contract size and then just get consistent payouts. Um, like you can do 8 contracts here, just pass it, and then after that, go back to like 3 or 4 contracts because then you'll just have consistent profits just rolling in, and you'll just get payouts every 2 weeks or every month. That's the you guys got to understand the math behind it. I feel like a lot of people don't understand the math, and they try to YOLO every single time. They'll pass the account and then they'll blow it right after. It's crazy. Like you only want to YOLO during eval, but once you're in the funded phase, you don't want to YOLO anymore. You want to take it conservatively and not blow the account. So just something there to pay attention to. Hey, Sing. Morning, Justin. Morning, Paul. Yeah, Sing said he passed his 50K eval yesterday and took a small payout on his 10K. Nice. It's perfect. So big congrats to you, Sing, on getting that. Um, Here, let me scroll up real quick. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Constantine said, how to manage intraday trailing drawdown what would be your risk on a 50K count? I would say about 3 contracts. I think for me, I typically do 3 contracts, Constantine. So let me see, 3 times 5 times 20. So my risk is about 300 per trade. So here, I'm gonna do the math again for you guys here. Or let me just check, what are my contracts here? Yeah, 3 contracts. So the risk is like very, very low on those specific accounts, obviously. Okay, let's do the math. So your max drawdown is going to be 2,500, right? On a 50K account. That's like without having any cushion. So you divide that by 300. Basically, in order for me to blow my account, I have to lose 8.3 times, like back to back to back to back, right? So I pretty much make it virtually impossible for me to blow my accounts, right? I don't think we've had 8 back-to-back losing days ever. Maybe, I don't want to say ever, but I don't want to jinx it. But basically, I make it so conservative to the point where I basically it's impossible on my account. So every time I take a trade, I'm risking 300 to make 600 because I'm doing a 1 to 2 risk to reward, right? So, and then again here, if you want to calculate this in forms of payout, so we'll do 3,000 divided by 600. You basically need 5 winning trades to get a payout. which is not difficult, right? Look over here in October, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 payout. One, two, these will kind of cancel themselves out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You basically get a payout for twice this month because we had 5 winning days and then another 5 winning days, including the losses. So you could have gotten 2 payouts during that period using 3 contracts. If you wanted to increase it to 4 contracts, you probably could have gotten payout quicker. But again, you just want to make sure that you're doing the math right and the math makes sense. You want to make it where it's virtually impossible to blow your account, and you want to make it where it's possible to get a payout. Because we're doing a 1 to 2, it makes it very, very possible. Before we were doing a 1 to 1, that was kind of difficult because you have to have like a pretty nice stream of wins before you get a payout or before you pass your eval. But now that we're doing a 1 to 2, it's like, when we have these strings of wins, like looking over here, basically this whole week and this whole week, it makes it very, very possible to pass evals and to get funded right away. So yeah, I mean that's kind of where we're at. Uh, and that's the goal, guys. Like, don't focus on hitting those home runs. Just focus on getting the wins and closing out the day's green. Like, if you can do that and you can just put your focus on that specific thing, you guys will be you're Gucci, right? It's like there's no need to go for those crazy crazy profits. That's why when I see people doing like 1 to 5s and like 1 to 6s, I'm like, dude, that's not how Apex works. Like that's where the trailing drawdown becomes an issue because you can be in profit, you can still lose your account while in profit. Um, I've been trading with Apex for a couple years now, so like I started to understand like there's a specific type of way of trading to really be consistent with Apex. You have to trade it. I think a 1 to 2 is like perfect for Apex because of the trailing drawdown. It's if you lose a trade, fine. If you win a trade, you make it back. Plus, you cover the whole trailing drawdown because you're basically doing 1 to 2. So you lose a trade, you kind of cut into your drawdown, you win the next trade, and then you cover that whole drawdown, and then you basically cap out your trailing drawdown at that point. A 1 to 1's okay, but like your win ratio will be good, but long term, it's not going to really be sustainable. Ark is asking how many contracts to pass in 2 days. You'd use about 8 contracts. All right, that's from start, but if you're already in profit, then you can drop it down a little bit. You got to keep in mind the arc. If you're doing 8 contracts, you're going to be in a pretty big risk though. Here, let's see. So you only get like basically 3 chances. If you're gonna do eight contracts, you have 3 chances to blow your account. 3.1. So basically, if you have 3 back-to-back losses, your account's gonna be blown. But if you have 2 back-to-back wins, you're gonna pass. So you see the math there. It's your odds are gonna be in your favor as long as you take a quality trade. You just gotta keep that in mind. Rev said, I agree. With the algo, it's possible. Was having difficulty passing them before LOL. Was just mentioning it because it's different from their normal offer. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Rev. Hey, Michael, morning. Talanji said it's much easier to pass 250K than 300K. Not much different in what you will risk. Yeah, I agree. The spread's a lot further on that one. Barack said, yeah, good day, K2. You mean ensure the math is mathing. Exactly. Rev is asking, are payouts every 8 days? I'm not sure. They keep changing the rules. It used to be 14 days. It might be 8 days now. I don't know. For me, I don't really care about the days. Like I just whenever I get to a threshold, I'll request a payout. Like even if it's just a little bit of a payout. Um, because the thing with these prop firms, guys, is you just want to request a payout, right? Because the thing is, if you request a payout and you get denied, it's going to reset the timer for the next pay period. So if you ever get denied from Apex, don't worry, just keep trading, and then on the next payout period, they'll pay you out as long as you meet the criteria. And the criteria is mainly the consistency rule. So you got to have 30% consistency, which shouldn't be a problem if you're not using the same TP stop loss for like every trade. Solange said the 40/20 is perfect for psychology. Yeah, psychology. The numbers aren't too crazy and it adds it fast. Yeah, I agree with you too, Solange. 100%. Barack said I've blown accounts while in profit. Yeah, I've seen that before too. Hey, Lamar morning. Thanks, Justice. Yes, the Justice did confirm it's every 8 trading days. Hey Drew, I saw your message right there. Yeah, no, of course, Drew. If you still want access to it, just go to the website. So, guys, I know, I said we closed access to the algo, but if you guys want access to it, especially for you, Drew, because I know you personally, like you're in the group, right? It's mainly to keep away like new people, like random people from using the algo. But Drew, if you want access to it, just go to the website, kodikaitrades.com, the original website, and then click on strategies right here to get access to the algo. The algo is a it's a great tool. It's a great tool for you guys to use. So looking over here at 646, guys, this is a reversal entry. You can see here that price isn't really slowing down, so I'm not really looking to get into this one right here. I was initially looking to get into it, but at this moment, I'm not really looking to get into it because it is a reversal entry. So right here at 646, it is against momentum. Currently, right now, we have a buy momentum, so it's going to be a sell entry. On top of that, it has a 66.67% probability of it winning overall for buys and sells. It's a target entry for 1 to 2, and it has a win percentage of 81.82% for sells. I think this trade could possibly play out, but typically, if I'm looking for a reversal type entry, I would look for price here to kind of slow down a little bit because I'm looking for it to flip the other way, right? The problem with this here is that it's not really slowing down. I'm not trying to use price action or technical analysis, but I'm just using the obvious, like the obvious part of this, right? Because if it's a reversal, you're looking for price to swing back down. If the momentum is still pushing up pretty strong, like it's pushing right here, this means that it's not ready to turn around yet, right? We have another entry right here at 647. This is one that I probably would get into. So the initial flip is going to happen right here at 646, or it should happen. And then once that initial flip happens on the next candle, you'd look for it to continue down lower. So what I would need here is I would need a sell signal to come up on this specific candle right there. So here goes the entry for 646, guys. If you guys took it, it's currently running in profit. So it looks like it could be a good entry. It's just the way that I was analyzing it, it didn't look like it was ready to turn around yet. For me personally, I prefer to take trades with momentum versus against. Because, like we talked about before, guys, this is a momentum-based strategy. So you want to go with momentum. It's okay to go against momentum sometimes, but sometimes the price isn't done pushing, right? So right here, it looks like price was still pushing. The thing is, if we got this entry down here, right, where price was already going flat, then in this situation, I would have been more inclined to take that trade. because I'm like, okay, the reversal is already setting up right there. But over here, you're kind of cashing it at the top. So you can get unlucky because the top might not be established yet and price may spike up a little bit to stop you out before coming down. And that's what's happened to us a lot of times in the future and like in the past, right? So moving forward in the future, I use that to my advantage, right? We're going off the statistics and the probability here. Probabilities are high, but like I said, you're never going to be 100%. It's 66.7% probability of it winning overall, right? So with that being the case, you still have, what is it, like 34% probability of it losing. So not to say that I'm going to fade this trade, but like obviously these trades are not lining up. We didn't get that sell signal right there. So the 647 entry is not going to be coming up because this is supposed to be with momentum. This is going to be a problem because if this is with momentum, it's going to fade this specific trade, right? Because this trade's for a sell against, and the trade at 647 is with momentum. We currently have a buy signal right here. So because there's a buy signal, this trade here is going to be going opposite of each other. You have the 646 for a sell and you have the 647 for a buy. It's not a good look, right? You don't really want trades to be going against each other. So obviously the 647 entry right here is skipped. The 648 entry, which is currently this current candle, this is going to go with the 646. So we got two sell entries right here. We have two sell entries and then one buy entry in between. So see how the statistics here, you want them to kind of line up. You want this one to be the initial reversal, and we wanted this one to be the continuation to the downside. This is tricky because we have two sells right here. 646 is a sell, 648 is a sell, but then 647 is a buy. So one of these directions are going to play out, right? Like basically either two of these are going to win, 646 and 648, and then 647 is going to lose, or 646 and 648 is going to lose and 647 is going to win. See where like this becomes a problem? That's why we're using the statistics here to identify the entries. Setup didn't come up like we were looking for. And it looks like it's a good reason why we skipped out on this entry because, like I said, one of them is going to lose, and that one did lose. But let's go to the 647 trade, and I think that one is actually going to win. right? So let's move over here. This one right here is a buy entry because it's with momentum. It has a lower probability of it winning, but again, like you're never going to be 100% on the entry. So this is a 647 candle. No, this one here, they all actually didn't work out. It looks like it was so choppy here that price ended up spiking both of them out. This one here pulled back, stopped out, and then pushed up. And same with this one. This one pushed down, pushed up, stopped out, and now it's kind of just chopping down the middle. We talked about this yesterday. So Maria also mentioned this in the chat. She said that the 7 o'clock entries are better than the 6 o'clock entries because there's a lot of choppiness earlier in the session, which I agree with, right? This is why we haven't really been taking the trades at 6. I typically wait until later, like around 7. So I haven't taken any trades yet. The first entry that I'm looking for is going to be here at 709. This is the same one that we looked at yesterday. Again, I'm going to look to see if this, lines up properly. Um, you still have to use at least some sort of volatility and momentum analysis. We're not really using price action. Like I'm not using any support and resistance, supply and demand, imbalances, any of that stuff. I'm just looking to see how the candles here are moving and making sure that they align with what I'm actually looking for. So right here, this trade at 709, it has a 66.67 probability of it winning. So it shows that it won 12 out of the 18 trades. Looking at the trade analysis over here, it's pretty much even. So it has a 66.67 probability for buys and for sells. Looking over here at the buys, it's won 8 out of the 12 previous buys. And then over here for the sells, it won 4 out of the previous 6 sells. So with that being the case, it's a pretty balanced trade. And if you look over here at the historical data shows that it won last Thursday on the 16th. It won the Thursday before that on the 9th. And it also won the Thursday before that on the 2nd. So the probabilities here are pretty high for 709. Looking at this here, we won't really know the direction until we get closer to the actual entry candle. Um, it's with momentum. So there's going to be a couple scenarios here. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for price to either push up, maybe retrace a little bit, and then push up higher. Or if we get a reversal, I'm looking for price to establish a ceiling here, probably slow down a little bit, provide a sell signal, and then come down lower. So it doesn't really matter which direction it goes because the probability is equal across the board. It has a 67% probability for buys and for sells, and overall it's 67 as well. So we'll just have to wait for this to get closer to that candle move. The thing that I do like about this entry though is that it's with momentum, right? That's what I mentioned earlier. I like to go with momentum, not against it. The times that I'm okay with going against momentum is like when we're in a choppy market. We're obviously not in a choppy market today. Today's a directional market. Again, looking over at the overall trend, let's just take a look at the bigger perspective. So looking on the 1 minute over here, you can see price is very strong for a bullish trend. You can see price is above the pivots. The trend meter is green. The pivots are angling up. Same with the 5 minute, right? Price is above the pivots. Trend meter is green. Pivots are angling up. Lastly, on the 15 here, price is starting to shift to the upside. So price is above the pivots. The trend meter is green and the pivots are angling up. So on the lower time frames right here, we are in a bullish bias with regard to trend. Looking over here on the higher time frames, it's a little bit mixed. So over here on the 30-minute, price barely shifted above. So it's more of a neutral bias with regard to trend. 1 hour, same thing. Price is in between the pivots. And same with the 4 hour here. Price is above, but it's like slightly in between. So we have more of a bullish neutral bias with regard to those time frames there. Let me turn on the momentum here. There we go. Okay, so let's take a look at market structure now. We've looked at that. Now looking over here at market structure, it's pretty much bullish across the board. If you look down here, the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15, 30, 1 hour, 4 hour, it's pretty much bullish across the entire board, right? I'm not using technicals for my entries or price action, but I'm just using this to have a general understanding of where price is currently moving right now at this very time. Let me go and mark up some structure here. I don't think we're going to have very much because price is so far above. We do have an imbalance here that's currently active. Here, let me see. I'm going to mark up structure right here. So we have, let me zoom in a little more. We have a resistance here, turn support. So resistance, turn support right there. We have a bunch of support levels down below. Again, I'm not using this for myself. I'm just doing this for you guys. For those of you who are still looking at the technicals. I don't really care for the technicals because we're basing all our trades off, probability, of course. But for those of you who still look at technicals, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with technicals here. It's just I don't use them anymore because they're just unnecessary. They're more of a confusion than they are usefulness for me specifically. So we got structure down here. You can see we had a support zone basically down here. Price pushed up, retested support, pushed up higher, retested the structure right there at the Asia high. Price pushed up higher. It tried to grab liquidity over here at the London low, but it didn't actually reach that high. So we have an imbalance right here. Price is breaking, retesting the imbalance. So we currently have price right here breaking and closing under the imbalance, retesting it. So there's two things that are going to happen right here. If you guys are looking at the technicals, it's currently at an imbalance. So price can either break and retest this imbalance and continue down lower, or what might happen here is price can also push up above, mitigate this imbalance, and then it turns into an inverse fair value gap, right? If you guys are trading fair value gaps, I'm familiar with it. I don't trade it, but I'm familiar with it. This would be a fair value gap confirmation and this would be an inverse fair value gap confirmation, right? That's why I don't like technical analysis because you really don't know which direction it's going to go unless you have the statistics and you're like, okay, inverse hits like 65% and then normal fair value gap hits like 85. Of course, what am I going to do in a situation like that? I'm going to go with the 85, right? So I think in the future, I think for fun, I might create another algo to identify the percentages of these fair value gaps hitting and losing. The problem is that there's so many fair value gaps that come up that it's going to be almost impossible for me to do it on the 1 minute, right? I'd have to probably set up that tool on a higher time frame. Because if I'm looking at my chart right now, like looking at this again right here, there's another fair value gap that is currently pending right here, right? Imagine how many fair value gaps are going to line up. There's going to be too much data. So yeah, if I had the probabilities for the fair value gaps and inverse fair value gaps, then maybe I would take these types of trades, but I don't have the probabilities. So in order for me to turn this into a quantitative strategy, I would need to have the actual numbers. So, maybe that's something in the future. If I have some free time, I'll kind of like dig into that. I think that'd be pretty cool to turn fair value gaps and inverse fair value gaps into an algo where I can pull the quantitative data. And it'll probably be just as good as what we're doing here with the momentum, right? I got a lot of ideas, guys. So I'm really excited for what's to come, especially with my hedge fund now. I'm mainly looking at quantitative strategies. I don't really care about price action anymore. Price action's whatever. Uh, because it's just not consistent enough, right? For you to be really good as a price action trader, you have to have like extreme, extreme, extreme discipline and consistency. I'm sure you guys have traded for a while now, and you guys can see that you'll have good days, good weeks, good months, etc. But then there's going to be that one time where you just blow your account. It's because you don't have the numbers in front of you to identify, what actually has a high enough probability for you to take that risk. And there's no problem with that, right? There's no problem. There's always room for failure when you don't have the actual numbers in front of you. So looking at this right here, guys, at 709, we currently have a sell momentum. So if that's the case, you might have an entry right here for a sell for the 709 entry. We're still a bit of away from it though, so we're not that close. There is a high impact news event that is coming up right here at 7 o'clock. I don't know if this is going to come out. This is existing home sales. It's going to happen in about a minute. I don't know if this is delayed. It's probably going to be canceled because of the government shutdown, but we'll kind of see what happens here at 7 o'clock if that's the case. If you guys see price manipulation at 7 o'clock, that's because the news came out. If you don't see price manipulation, that's because the news was canceled. So we'll kind of see what happens here as price continues to move along. Let's see. Talanji said, yeah, let's go check out the orb real quick. I didn't bother to look at the orb. Okay, so the orb actually hit over here, guys. I don't know if anybody caught it, but it looks like the orb over here kind of played out. I mean, for me personally, I don't take the orb anymore, so, but it looks like it played out right there. or maybe not. I don't know. It depends on where your TP stop loss was for the orb. Tricky orb right here. You got choppy right down the entry time. So I think this might be the first algo, the first other algo that I'll probably put together is the orb because I would like to see the probabilities for this specifically. And see, I got my connection just got disconnected right now at 7 o'clock. Elad, if you're here right now, for some reason I don't know what it is, but at 7 o'clock my connection, you can see here my trading view is like blinking out, right? I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's an Irvine thing or what, but every day at 7 o'clock my internet just disconnects for a second and then it reconnects. And there's no, I can't find a fix for it. It's weird. Yeah, I mean, I looked at the logs a lot. I didn't see anything. I really think it's just it's an area issue because where I was living before, it was happening as well, and I was living like near the airport, so that's like a totally different area, right? I think this whole general area, or maybe it's just Google Fiber because I have fiber internet, Google Fiber. Maybe it's just Google Fiber. Um, honestly, I don't have no idea what it might be, but we'll I guess we'll have to see. Okay, so let me scroll up real quick. Oh, nice. So Talanji actually got the buy early at 647, but he got in for a discount because he got in when price was in drawdown. So nice work on catching that, Talanji. Let me scroll down lower. Barack said I'm laughing because I can imagine for someone new joining K2 and find Sean saying 647 buy, 647 sell. Like, who are these people? I know. Okay, so VK is asking newbie here, how are you saying 647 is a buy? It's because the momentum here was a buy. So like looking at the 647. It's with momentum, right? So if it says with momentum here, that means you're going with momentum. So for example, the entry over here at 647, which was right here, you basically look back. So if the entry candle or the entry catalyst is at 647, you look back to where the most recent momentum signal is. If it's with momentum, then you're going with the direction of momentum, which is a buy right here. If you're going against momentum, then you take the sell. That's why these are different. Um, And that's why that one was specifically a buy and the other ones were sells because these were against, this was with, and this was with. So basically, 646 was a sell, 647 was a buy, and 648 was a buy as well. Macy's is asking which of the indicators on the bottom. That's the algo. Uh, Macy's. So if you want access, you have access to it. I believe you do. Just go to the indicators, go to your invite only scripts, and then go to Kodi Kai. Algo, or where's it at? Somewhere around here. I don't think oh, there it is. Kodi Kai momentum algorithm. That's how you can get this down here to run the algo to get the probabilities. Perfect, perfect. Okay, no problem. Barack said, or you have to use a high time frame context. Yeah, exactly, Barack. So that's a problem if you're trading technicals or price action. See, that's where discretion comes into play. Because if you're doing, a high time frame context, you're still kind of confusing yourself, right? In a sense. That's why for me, I don't really like using technicals as much because, and I have a technical background. I've been trading technicals for like 12 years now. Um, the thing is, there's always going to be something telling you something different, right, Brock? So if you're right here looking for a buy because the trend is bullish, you're going to look on the higher time frame. If that's bearish, you might switch your analysis to a sell, right? Or if it's bullish, you might keep your analysis to a buy. That's a problem with technicals. It's like you go on different time frames. I think that's like, if you listen to a lot of people who actually trade technicals like that are very, very profitable, they don't actually use different time frames like real profitable people, right? Not people on Instagram or YouTube that are selling you some random strategy. I'm talking about like actual people who are verified, like that are actually professional traders. Because I've done a lot of research and I followed a lot of people who are like legitimately legit traders, right? They're not selling something Like they're not selling a repackaged course. A lot of people who are very consistent, they say that they stick to one specific time frame. They don't use a higher time frame confluence. I feel like so the thing with a lot of people who try to push higher time frame confluence, like if they go from the 1 minute to the 5 minute to the 15 to whatever, um, they do that because they can sound right in every way possible, right? So for example, if you took a trade here and everything's bullish, I can almost guarantee you someone will go to like on the weekly or the daily or the monthly, and they're like, oh, well, you shouldn't have taken that trade because the weekly said it was bearish or whatever, or it was at a weekly resistance. There's always a reason for why the trade doesn't work, right? And I've found that to be really funny because people fall for that excuse every single time. Whenever a trade loses, there's always an excuse why the trade loses. But realistically, if you look at the data, the trade's never going to be 100%. You could have as many confluences as possible. You can go on the weekly time frame, you go on the monthly time frame, and you're going to find a reason why your trade lost. The thing is, you have to accept that the losses happen. They just happen. There's nothing you can do about it. You can be trading on whatever time frame, and you can look for a reason for why it lost. But like I have the data in front of me, so it shows that it doesn't matter how many confluences or whatever I have, it's going to lose either way, right? So like for example, over here, this trade over here at 646 lost, I knew that it was going to lose, or that it could have lose, right? Because it has a 66 probability of it winning. It doesn't matter if I went on the 5 minute time frame, 20 minute time frame, 30 minute. If everything pointed for a buy there and it still gave me the same probability, then you understand that the trade has a possibility of losing. I feel like a lot of people they're too focused on perfecting their strategy, right? They want to have the highest probability, the highest win rate, etc. But that stuff is just not possible. It's damn near impossible to be 100% with the trade. So once you understand that and you're able to accept the losses, you go next level. Because that's what I've done, right? I'm basically trading the probabilities over here. If I lose the trade, then I'm okay with it. If I win the trade, I'm also okay with it. But I'm only taking trades that move in my favor. So right here, guys, it's 7:07. We have about 2 minutes until 7:09. And then once we get to that point right there, this is going to be a possible sell, it looks like. So here's the thing, the volume is pushing down. The thing that I don't want to see here is I don't want to see price to flatten out, right? If price starts to flatten out right here, it's going to be tricky because I don't want to be caught on the wrong side of the market. So let's see. Thanks, guys. Yeah, so VK, I see your messages there. Thanks to Longy for answering it. Barack said that comment was for the comment. Yeah, no, exactly. I agree what you're talking about, Barack. But so the way I see it is fair value gaps are good, but you have to stick to one time frame, right? Instead of doing a higher time frame analysis. Like what I would do if I was to do fair value gaps, I would mark it up. Like I would get the algorithm to identify data on the 1 minute, and then I'll look at for it to identify data on the 5 minute and maybe the 10 minute, maybe the 15. So on those time frames, I can see which time frame has the highest probability, and then I'll stick on just that time frame, right? I won't go from like 1 to 5 to 15 or whatever. I'll just stick to the 1, or I'll stick to the 5, or I'll stick to the whatever time frame. Same with the momentum entries over here, right? Like if, say for example, like the edge just kind of disappears, right? And it doesn't work well for 40-20. Then what I do here is I just make little adjustments. So instead of doing a 40-20, then I'll go to like maybe a 50-25, right? And then if we don't have any entries there still, then instead of doing that, I'm going to go from from the 1 minute, and then I'm going to shift over to like maybe the 5 minute or the 10 minute or the 15. Either way, you're going to be able to find an edge. You just have to do the labor, right? You just have to do the work to find which time frame, which TP stop loss has the highest probability, and then you kind of drill down on that. So, all right, guys, here is the 709 entry. This entry is going to be for a sell. So looking at this right here, this is going to be the 709 entry for a sell. For me personally, guys, I think I'm going to sit out of this one. You can see here that the volatility is very flat. For me personally, I don't like when the volatility is flat like this. We've gotten caught in a choppy market like this in the past, and I don't think this is a good time to enter because we're trading based off momentum. If there's no momentum there where price is like really pushing up or pushing down, then what happens in a situation like this is that you get caught in the chop, And if you get caught in the chop, it's going to be easy for it to come up, stop you out, and then come down, right? Things our stop loss here is very tight. It's 20 points. So if you guys want to take this entry, it's going to be a sell entry. It's a 709. It has a 66.67 probability overall and 66.67 probability for a buy or a sell. So if you guys are taking the trade right there, it's currently running in profit. This was one that I was aiming to take today. It was one of my target entries. The reason why I decided to sit out of this trade is because price is just chopping back and forth right here. And because my stop loss is so tight and the ATR is a little higher, I was worried that I was going to get caught in the chop here. Because the thing is, you don't want trade to be chopping back and forth for too long. You want it to just go down and hit your target right away. But this was one of the target entries that I was looking to take. If you guys are in it, it's fine. We're going to follow it with you guys here. And we're going to continue analyzing it as price continues to drop lower. I do think this is going to play through and hit. Again, I just didn't like the price action right here. Not really the price action, but the volatility. Volatility was just a little too low. So we'll see what happens here in a few. Trade's currently running. So the probabilities here, they were okay, but they weren't like super great, right? I mean, they're okay. Like for example, if you look at the later entries here, they're actually going to have a higher probability. Like this one over here at 721 looks pretty good. It's against momentum, has a 72.22% probability of it winning overall, and an 80% probability for sells. So we'll see. But yeah, this trade here is running 709. It's on its way down. I've just been a lot more cautious lately, especially after last week. So last week there was a Friday market was super, super choppy, and it wasn't I mean it wasn't a great time to be trading. Trade's running good here though. Looks like it's gonna hit TP. Let's see, it's in profit about 25 points right now. So it's about 30 points away from its target. 30 points, 32 points. Full TP right there, guys. If you guys caught that, great work. If you guys didn't, it's completely fine. This 709 entry has been pretty on point for the past couple of days. Again, like I said, I would have taken it if there was more volatility, but this thing here is just going back and forth. Like it was, if this kept pushing down like it did earlier, perfect. But the thing is right here, the previous five candles started to slow down. This type of volatility is like where I like to see reversals happen. So when I see price start to slow down like this, I'm like, okay, the reversal is probably going to happen at this point. And that's why I was hesitant on taking this specific entry. But this entry hit full TP. So if you guys caught that, looks like Barack got it. Talanji got it. Nice, guys. Barack said, thank you, Sean. Yeah, so this is just living proof of using the probabilities. It's a clear example of like why I like to use probabilities versus discretion. So today's algo entries, that was the first one that I was looking to possibly take. You can see it was to the dot, right? This thing was really close. It like literally just got to target and then turned down. So 709 today. Looks like Macy just got that as well. Yeah, so nice work, Macy. You basically made your money's worth because Macy just signed up today to uh to the live sessions and the indicators. So yeah, Macy made you made your money's worth on that one trade. So nice work. Win right there. This is a plus 2R total. There's only one trade we've identified for today. So we'll keep looking. My next setup is going to be here at 721. Oh, so that was one thing that I wanted to look over here. I also wanted to see the news. So did the news come out? The news actually came out today. So existing home sales over here, let's see. Month over month was 1.5%, so it's actually going up a little bit. Existing home sales is negative. So for September, it was negative. For month over month, it was positive. It's just slightly negative. There wasn't really much of a reaction. Oh, actually, there was. So you can see the big candle right there at 7 o'clock. Big wick right there. All right, guys. So there goes the first algo entry for the day that we identified. Let's see what happens next. Let's see. Talanji's asking what kind of technical analysis makes against reversal trades more probable? Um, I wouldn't say it's technical analysis in a sense. It's more so like volatility analysis, Talanji. So like, for example, we have an entry coming up over here at 721, right? Which is against. What you want to see happen here is you want this volatility to start to slow down, right? The entry here is at 721, right? So what you want to see is price come down. And then when it gets closer to the entry point at 721, you want to see market start to go sideways because you're looking for this to establish a floor and then reverse to the upside. Does that make sense? Like that's what you want to look for. Not really technical analysis because we're not really looking at the technical. Well, in a sense, it is technicals, but you're really just looking for volatility. You want the volatility here to slow down. There's another factor that you can look at as well. So right now, currently we're at 28 ATR, right? So you want to see the ATR get slower. Like you want this to kind of slow down a bit. So you want to see it go from 28 to 26 to 25 to 23. Because when you see that, that means the market here is starting to slow down. See, like it's slowing down right now as we speak. It was 28, now it's 26. So if that's the case, you can see at this specific time, this is starting to slow down right here. It's like slowing down before your eyes. Exactly, yeah. So Talanji said buyer is losing pressure, or in this situation, the sellers is losing pressure, right? Or whatever the concept is. It's just losing its momentum. So yeah, I wouldn't say really pressure. I would say like it's losing its momentum, right? Yeah, same concept. It's just, right now we have sell momentum, so momentum's coming down, and then vice versa. You want that sell momentum to kind of die out, and then you want it to reverse the other way. So it's just a matter of time until we get that. Yeah, we just gotta, you just gotta be patient. I mean, realistically, that's kind of just how that's the name of the game, right? It's being patient, being disciplined, waiting for everything here to kind of align with what you're looking for. And we'll see. Let's see. Solange said algo for crypto could be some crazy numbers. It really could be. I actually was looking into that because yeah, the volatility on cryptos is pretty crazy. Like I'm gonna try to look at it. Maybe here I could try to look at it right now, actually. What's something that we would trade? Is there a Bitcoin future? See, the thing that's so choppy, I think we'd have to use it on a higher time frame. I mean, it looks like it's still pretty good. Like I have a random number here, or I guess time. This is 8 o'clock basically. It has a 59% probability. I personally would go with momentum. I wouldn't really trade the reversals on this, but yeah, looking at crypto over here, I don't even know what the targets would look like because I don't trade crypto. But it looks like I mean, I guess for crypto, you might want to do something like on the 10-minute, right? I think the 1 minute might be a little too crazy. But yeah, I mean, if something that you guys want to look at, I think it could work really well. The problem with crypto is that it doesn't have a lot of historical data, right? I mean, it's not very consistent. So it might be a little difficult to identify patterns here for the algo, but I'm pretty sure there's ways to do it. You just gotta like kind of play around with it and figure out what the settings would be. Um, but yeah, I think crypto would be a cool, I guess, side asset to kind of, for the most part, play around with, right? Yeah, because the algo works on all assets, guys. It's not just YM, it's not just ES, it's not just NQ. It works on gold, it works on literally anything that has volume. All right, we have another imbalance right here. The imbalance pretty much lines up with this previous support turn resistance. So this is a break and retest off the imbalance right there. All right. That said, we got our entry coming up shortly, it looks like. Okay, we got the entry coming up right here at 721. Again, what I'm looking for here, guys, in order for me to have my opportunity for entry, is I'm looking for price to kind of slow down a little bit. I'm looking for price to slow down and then reverse back up. The ATR is currently at 28, so I'd like to see the ATR drop down to below 28. It's dropping down to 26, so it's looking decent. So if you guys are looking to take this entry, okay, so here's the problem. I'm actually not looking for a buy here. So if you look at my markup for 721, I'm actually looking for a sell. So I'm not going to take this trade right here, guys, unfortunately. In order to take this, this would have to be a buy signal. A buy signal would have to come up on this very candle right here. So if you look down right here at my 721, it's against momentum. It has a 72.22% probability of it winning for a 1 to 2. It's one of my target entries, but I'm looking for a sell here because it has an 80% probability for sells. So let me just put the numbers over here real quick so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, so at 721, it has a change the settings right here. It's against momentum. Okay, so it has an overall probability of 72.22. If you look at the trade analysis over here, the buys are still okay, but they're not as high as I would have wanted them to be, right? I would have wanted them to be higher. The sells over here, they've won 8 out of the 10 previous entries. So the probabilities here are leaning towards a sell. The problem with this here is that we don't have a buy momentum. In order for us to have an entry here, because it's against momentum, we needed to have came up before this candle. So if you guys want to take this entry here, you guys can still take it. It has a decent probability, but I did my research last night and I did my work. I was looking for a sell here, not a buy. But if you guys want to take it here for a buy, I mean, feel free. It looks like it can play out still. It's just, I already made my decision last night that I'm not going to go for the buy. I was going to go for the sell. So yeah, it doesn't align with what I'm looking for. Same with the 723 entry right here. So this one again is against momentum, but this one's actually for a buy, not a sell. And we'll adjust the settings to that once we get to that time. All right, if you guys are looking to take the entry right here, this entry is currently running to the upside for a buy. This will probably hit, but like I said, I'm not taking the entry here because it doesn't meet my criteria. So I'll follow up for you guys here. Um, if you guys are part of the Discord, I post all of my trades the night prior. So I posted my trades here last night. Again, like I said, that trade right there at 721, it was against momentum, but I was aiming for a sell here because it has an 80% probability for sells. And it only won 1 out of the 3 previous Thursdays. So it looks like it's going to hit target though. Unfortunately, it just didn't line up with my direction. Because like I said, I'm going for the trades with the highest probability. This here still has a decent probability, but it wasn't as high as this one. So I would have avoided the buys here, even though the buys are still okay. I think this will hit. I think, price is the momentum's gonna pick back up. It's just kind of dropping down a little bit, but I think it'll push right through. It's just a matter of time. All right. It's pushing up right there. Again, if you guys are part of the YouTube, just keep in mind that the YouTube is delayed by about a minute. If you guys want access to the real time so that you guys can take these trades, as I call them out, just go to the Instagram website, or sorry, just the website. So kodikaitrades.com, click on live trading room right here, and you'll get access to the Zoom so that you guys can follow this real time. Like if you guys don't want to trade yourself and you just want to follow the entries that I mark up, like this right here, for example, you could have taken this trade right here, real time with us. So it's about to hit target right there. It's about to hit and full TP right there, guys. Damn, this week's been pretty crazy, guys. Honestly, it's been pretty on point, even though the entries don't line up with what I was looking for personally. Um, we've been on a pretty crazy streak this whole week. Monday, like literally every day this week's been pretty much on fire. So 2 back-to-back wins right there. It's currently a 4R for the day. So this one at 7:09, and then this one right here at 7:21. There was another entry right here at 7:23. Let me see. Yeah, see, the problem with this here is that, I mean, I wouldn't want to go, like, I don't overlap trades. So unfortunately, I would have not even looked at that one because this trade was currently running. And it still wouldn't work out. So looking at the entry right here, this wouldn't work out because the buy signal came up. That's right. We still have a couple more entries here. The 735 is not going to be a target entry for me. So you can see over here at the 735, it's just a trade that I've marked up just to identify. but it is not a target entry for me. I'll follow it. Maybe if it looks good, I'll possibly look to get into it, but it's not one of my target entries for the day. The reason why it's not a target entry is because it just didn't meet my criteria. I mean, it slightly met it. So let me go over here to 735 real quick. Man, this would have been a good trade too. I was looking to get into the 721, but it just didn't meet my sell criteria. It was actually a buy. Even though the probabilities were still pretty decently high, it just didn't meet my criteria. All right, so this is the 735 entry. It has a 61.11 probability of winning overall for buys and sells. It has won 11 of the previous 18 trades. Looking over here, it has a probability for buys at 72.73%. And then it has probability for wins for sells at 42%. So obviously, I'm not going to look for the sells here. Ideally, I would look for the buys here at 735. The main problem with this trade, this is the reason why I didn't make my list, is that it lost every Thursday for the past 3 Thursdays. So it won zero of the previous Thursdays. You look at the historical data over here, it shows that on the 16th it lost. This was last Thursday. Thursday before that on the 9th, it also lost. And then October 2nd over here, it also lost. So it just shows here that it just doesn't really win on Thursdays. But so let's take a look at the direction. On the Thursday here on the 2nd, it was for a sell. So obviously the sells typically don't win. So that might be a hint right there. Again, right here on the 9th, it's also a sell, right? So you can see right here, all of the losing trades are mainly they're mainly sells. However, this one over here on the 16th, this was last Thursday. It was for a buy, but it still lost. So that's why this trade over here did not make it to my target entry. It's a good setup and it has decent probabilities, but because it lost every single Thursday, this indicates to me that this specific point in time does not work very well on Thursdays, right? Again, this is us trading as a quantitative trader. This is quant trading. You have to go off the data. If the data doesn't tell you that this is a good trade, then you just sit out of it. There's going to be more opportunities there. So even though the 735 is not going to be a good trade with my probabilities, I'm still going to look at the next one, right? So I still have 751, 752, 753. These are all with momentum. So I can still look to take these here. They're all going to be for, well, for the most part, sells for 51, 52, and 53's probabilities for buys. So yeah, if you guys want to look at the next one over here, the next one's going to be at 735. But again, the probabilities are decent, but the historical data for Thursdays are not very good. Just something to keep in mind. Talanji got that trade. He's up 6R for the day and he's done. Nice work. Uh, Mesij said, got it again. This doubled what I paid already in 1 hour. Nice. Yeah, so Mesij, actually, it's funny because he messaged me this morning. We just talked actually this morning, and then he said, hey, I just bought the indicators in the algo. Can I get access? And he basically just doubled what he paid for already for the indicators. So nice work, Mesij. That's like the best case scenario, right? You buy something to test it out, and then you take 2 trades and they work out perfectly and you make your money back. So within an hour, Masij signed up for the indicators or the tools and took 2 trades and made his money back. So nice work, Masij. And I'm glad to have you part of the community, right? The thing is, we're always improving. So I know you're new here, but I've been trading live for 8 years now. If you guys have been following me over those 8 years, we're always improving. We're never stagnant, right? I feel like with a lot of traders, they kind of just find one strategy and then they kind of just stick to that. And if the market sucks, then they just start to suck a little bit. But for us here, we're always innovating, right? We're looking for something. We're not looking for something new, but we're always looking to improve on what we already have. So, we've been trading momentum for years now, and we've gone to this point where I turn it into an algo, and it's been moving pretty smoothly. So I'm excited. I'm excited for what's to come, guys. We've only been using this algo for about a month now. And the statistics here for the month are pretty crazy, right? I'm really excited to see how this is going to play through November, December, and then all of next year. Because it's really just it's turning into a money printer for us, for everyone here. Dylan is asking, do you know how to fix ninja charts not loading? Um, so what does it look like, Dylan? Does it give you an error or is it just blank or like what does it look like? If you want to send a screenshot, you can send a screenshot. I can probably help you troubleshoot. A lot of times it's just like a setting is messed up on there. Like you might have like dragged around and the candles are just not showing up, or the symbol might be wrong, or you might not have the data active. It's a couple of things there. Asij asking, I'm using TradeStation. Should I switch to Ninja? It's really up to you. If you like the platform with TradeStation, I mean, keep using them, right? I've never used TradeStation, so I don't know if it's better or if it's worse. I know it's one of the good platforms, so if you like it, keep using it. The reason why we use NinjaTrader is for the copier, right? So if you look at my trades over here, or majority of people's trades, like when they post up profits and stuff, or like myself, um, see, like I'm using a copier, so I can copy to like multiple accounts. So if you want to copy to multiple accounts, I don't know if TradeStation has a copier, but the main reason we use Ninja is because of the copier. Let's see. Barack says he's going to take the 735 as a last call for the day. Okay, Barack. So we'll see. We'll see where that goes. Again, the 735 entry right here, guys, is it has a 61% probability of it winning. It has a 72.73 probability for buys. The only downside to this is that it lost pretty much every recent Thursday. Just because it lost every recent Thursday doesn't mean that it's going to lose this Thursday, though. So keep that in mind, guys. I don't want that to deter you from taking the entry. I just want you to be aware that every Thursday it loses for the most part. So just keep that in mind. So going into the data here, let's just look at the longs. So like for the buys here, the buys do play out pretty nice, right? It's won 8 out of the 11 buys. So it won 8 buys and it lost 3 buys. So I would say if you're going to take this trade, Brock, make sure it's for a buy. And if it's not for a buy, then just skip it because it can make a big difference. Yeah, Barack said he'll consider his confluences because he's bullish for this half hour. Okay, no, that's good to know. A lot is asking, Sean, do you know a free software or sheet to track trading? I use TraderSync. So, I mean, if you want to use TraderSync, I don't know if there's a free option. I have the cheapest option, so you can go with the very cheapest option. And it works out perfect. So in order to have your trades on here, you're going to click on like this plus button right here. You'll add trades. All you do is you log into your TradeAvate account or your NinjaTrader account, and then it will populate for you. So you don't have to do any work. And then once you have it populated, you can go down to each individual trade and you can put notes on it. Like you can put what entry it was, what your psychology was like you can put all the details. And that's how you can journal your trades, like how I do. So it's called TraderSync. I think there's a link here a lot under the FAQs. Or actually, I don't have a link there, but actually, I don't know if I have a thing with TraderSync. I don't think they have a affiliate with them. But yeah, that's what I use. And there's promos for it too. So yeah, like what Talanji said, a discount in a Google search. Yeah, because I used a promo. It was really cheap. I think I paid like maybe a couple $100 for like a whole year. And it's useful because it keeps me on track. Hey, what's up, Ark? Welcome back. All right, guys. So far today we have two back-to-back wins for the algo. I have a lot of entries here which are lined up. Obviously, we didn't take these for the obvious reasons. If you guys want to go back and understand why I decided not to take these, even though they were target entries, you can replay this live session at the end. But the next entry here is going to be at 7:35. Yeah, what's up, Jacob? Jacob's asking, have you had any issues with TradeSync? I don't use TradeSync, so I don't know. I know what you're talking about though. TradeSync, they're like I don't like using cloud-based copiers because the thing is if they like don't work, then you're screwed because there's no way to shut it down because it's on the cloud, right? It's a VPS. So I don't use TradeSync. I know they're somewhat new and I know they have issues. They're a cloud-based system, so obviously they're going to have issues. I only use native platforms, so I use Replicano, which is on my actual computer, so I have control over it. Um, I would only use native, like I'm copying like 50, 60 accounts, so I'm not going to use a cloud-based copier for mine. I use I use my my built-in one. So yeah, I don't really have any opinion on Trade Tinker because I don't use them. But from what I've heard, they're okay. They're still a new company, so they're gonna run through problems, of course. And I would be careful with the connectivity issues. Okay, guys, so the entry right here at 7:35, it's going to be a sell. So right here, it doesn't line up with what we were looking for, right? I mentioned right here, my statistics show that it has a 61.11 probability overall for buys and sells. It has a 72.73% probability for let's see, for a buy, and it has a 42.86% probability for a sell. So it's going to be a sell here because it's with momentum, and we have a sell momentum right here. Uh, the probabilities are just not high enough for me. It loses more than it wins. So for me personally, I would have skipped it. Jacob is asking, I thought that's the one you talked about. Trader Sync and Trade Syncer are different. So I use uh, Trader Sync. It's a journal. It's not a copier. Yeah. Trader Sync is a journal that I use. Trade Syncer is a copier system. Those are two different things. Here, I'll put it on top here. People always get them mixed up. Like I don't know why they basically just stole their name. Trader Sync has been around for like 20 years now, like 12 to 20 years. So Trader Sync, let me see. You said yeah, Trade Syncer. Yeah, this is what you're talking about. You're talking about Trade Syncer. This is a trade copier. So one of the reasons I don't like Trade Syncer is because this was promoted by so many influencers, right? Whenever something's promoted, like something is widely promoted by influencers, like a platform, it's because you're getting an affiliate cost. Like the actual product could be total shit, but because these influencers are pushing it, people think it's a good copyright. Again, I don't use it, so I can't say it's a bad copier, but it's on the cloud, right? This is a cloud-based system. So if you're going to use this, I would say, okay, this is okay with like prop accounts. But for my hedge fund, I would never use this for my hedge fund. It wouldn't be one that I'd typically use because it's on the cloud. You know, the cloud's a good idea if it's like something that's not like you're okay with mistakes happening because there's going to be mistakes. But if anything happens, there's some sort of connection issue on your VPS or whatever server the syncer is actually running on, and there's going to be issues, right? There's always going to be a connection issue. Um, you're kind of trapped. Like say, for example, you enter a position and then the internet connection goes out at wherever their servers are at. You're screwed because you can't pull out of that position. You can't just log in and close out of the position. Um, with me, I have it native, so I have a flat null button and it's all connected to my computer. So even if I lose connection, I can still uh, tether the connection from my phone or something, and then I can get back in and take it out. So just keep that in mind, guys. If you guys are going to use a cloud-based system like TradeSyncer, I would say only use it for your prop accounts. I would be careful if you're using it with, something that you're worried about um, losing, of course. That just reminds me, I have to do something real quick. Yeah. That just reminded me real quick. I got to do some settings over here. So the next entry is going to be at 7:51. We got some time. There's no there is no rush right now. Okay. Sorry guys, I just forgot that I have to get data here for all right, so that's good. Data's good. Yeah, okay, perfect. Just gotta set up some settings here for my hedge clients, two contracts. So that's 200. All right, cool. And I add one more. Yeah, I've been super busy with the hedge fund guys. So like if you guys been messaging me, it might be kind of hard to get a hold of me because I'm like onboarding like 5 to 10 people a day. So it's a lot of meetings for me and I'm just not around all the time. All right, let's see. Make sure everything here is good. Let's see risk settings. Um, okay, let me check this real quick. David. Um, okay, no, we're good. Or I'll have to talk to you, David. I think you're on here right now, right? I see you already have your settings in place. David on here? Yeah, David, you're on here. Okay, so I have or I'll talk to you personally. I see that you have your daily loss limit in place already within your account. And we'll talk to specific numbers later, but it's like set to like basically two losses. If you're okay with that, that's fine. You know, we can have it set to two losses, or you have it, yeah, around two losses. I typically have it set to like three in case we take three trades, but if you're okay with that, then we can leave it at two. But I'll message you on Discord. I'll just put a note actually. I'll put a note. I'll talk to you separately after. Talk to you. Uh, daily loss limit. Yeah. I'm glad you did that because that's one thing that I always make sure is in place. So guys, we were just talking about how like TradeSyncer could have issues with with connections and stuff. So with a situation like that, it's always good to have a hard lock like loss limit. For me, it's usually three trades because those are the most trades that I take. Um, but two's fine. Usually if I have two losses, I'm usually gonna call it a day anyways. I'm not gonna go out and risk another one if the market sucks for like two trades. Yeah, Masih said I had horrible experience with Cloud Copier. I second that opinion. Yeah, me too in the past. I've had those issues. Let's see. iPhone said if a buy momentum lands on the dashed line, do you consider the previous momentum? Yes. So guys, here's I was mentioning before, this doesn't happen very often where the momentum comes on the actual entry candle. But say for example, this was your entry candle right here, Roosevelt. If this was your entry candle, you don't disregard that. Look back to where the most recent one is. So for example, right here, say we have an entry at 743. I know we don't have an entry here, but if we did have an entry here, say if a sell signal came up, you wouldn't look at that. You'd look at the most recent one before that. Yeah, so that's a common question we get. Next entry is right here at 751, so we got some time. Let me put the settings over here, 751. So again, guys, I haven't taken any trades myself. I'm kind of just waiting here for the next setup, which is at 751. So at 751, we have this trade here, which is going to be with momentum. It has a 66.67 probability of it winning for both directions, buys and sells. It's for a 1 to 2 risk reward. It's one of my target entries. Looking over here at the trade analysis, so for buys here, it has a 50% probability. It won 5 out of the previous 10 trades. Probability is okay, but it's not great, right? I want it to be above like a 65 or even like higher, like how it is here for the sells. You can see for the sells, it has an 87.50% probability. It won 7 out of the 8 trades. So looking at the statistics over here, this is going to indicate that, of course, I'm going to look for a sell here if it does come up. The only downside here, looking at the historical data, is that last Thursday it lost and it was for a sell. That was on the 16th. The Thursday before that, on the 9th, it also lost, but it was for a buy. And the Thursday before that, it was a sell over here on the 2nd, and it was a win, right? So that's the main downside is that historical data shows that it's kind of iffy on a Thursday. It's not always going to be spot on, but for the most part, the sells here are good. So that's why I'm going to be looking for a possible sell right here at 751. What I'm going to be looking for is I'm going to look for price to kind of flatten out somewhere around here and start to consolidate. And I'm going to look for it to reverse to the downside, right? That's mainly what I'm going to be looking for here. I'm looking for it to flatten out, provide a sell signal, and then reverse to the downside. Because I'm looking for a sell here at 751, so I need that to kind of play out. See, Mendez is asking which app can replace the Replicano over the mobile phone with TradingView. So unfortunately, there's well that TraderSync application that we just talked about. That's one that can replace it. Um, yeah, Trade Syncer, actually not TraderSync, Trade Syncer. You can try it out. I mean, I haven't used it, so I can't really give you my opinion on it. Um, But yeah, if you want to use a cloud-based system, I mean, you can use it. It's just I use a native platform, so I stick with what's native. But if you want to use this, Mendez, you can use this. I just haven't used it. There's people who use it, so don't get me wrong, it works. It's just I haven't used it, so I don't. For me personally, I don't recommend products that I don't use. So it's an option, but I haven't used it. I only recommend stuff that I use and that I know is good. Like my trade journal, I've been using this all year and it's been great. So that's why I recommend it. Um, like I wouldn't recommend a trade journal that I don't use. Uh, I only tell you guys the stuff that I use and the stuff that I believe, works well. So that's an option for you. Justice is asking, so you're entering the candle after the entry time on the algo. What do you consider entry price? Yeah. So basically, for example, like right here, Justice, if we had, say for example, this is an entry candle, right? 646. I'm looking at the timer over here. And as soon as the candle drops to zero, like when the new candle opens, as soon as it closes, I enter the position. So I enter a market order. There's no specific price. I just get in at market, wherever it's currently at. iPhone said, wasn't me this time. How do I change the name? Okay, iPhone. So you change your name in the settings. So go to your Zoom settings, and then you could update your name so I know who I'm talking to. There's like five iPhones in here, so I don't know who's who. David said, yeah, I set it up to two losses with a little bit, but yeah, so that's exactly what I would have done too, David. So perfect. Your settings are good. I wouldn't touch your daily loss settings. Barack's done for the day. So thank you so much, Sean, for accommodating all sort of us. Yeah, definitely. Talanji said it's going back and forth between the 5 minute fair value gap. Good to know. Okay, yeah, so looking at this right here, guys, I have the fair value gaps over here marked up. So this became an inverse fair value gap, this imbalance, broken retested, and it's coming right back up. So we're just in a big range right here. Price is ranging back and forth, back and forth. Like I said earlier, guys, in order for me to take this trade at 751, I need to get a sell signal here before that. So 751, 752 are both going to be for sells. 753 here is going to be for a buy. And if I don't have any trades today, that's perfectly fine. I don't need to force any trades today, especially with tricky setups. The thing is, it looks like the volatility here is starting to slow down. But again, I'm looking for a sell signal here to come up. I need some volatility to kind of push it to the downside. The ATR is currently at 21 right now, so you can see the volatility here is starting to slow down a bit. Perfectly fine, that's normal. But we're just waiting for this here to kind of flip around a little bit. All right. So still no sell signal. If that's the case, might not even have an entry from this point. I just saw your messages. Yeah, thanks. Jacob said, for everyone watching Sean's free stream, I just want to say Sean is legit. If you're wondering, been following him since 2021, so sign up. Thanks, Jacob. Yeah, I've known Jacob for a while. Jacob has his own, I think you have your own company too, Jacob, right? The Trader Vibe. So if you guys want to use, or I don't know if you're still running it, but it's a pretty cool tool if you guys like to stream and stuff like that Jacob had. Unfortunately, it just didn't work with what I was using at the time or till now. So I couldn't use it, but Jacob does have a pretty cool tool where it'll like basically stream your statistics while you're trading and whatnot. It's like an overlay for your stream and then with the data. So it's pretty cool if you guys want to check it out. It's called Trade Vibe, right? Let's see. Tron over here said, Sean, do you trade NQ or ES sometimes, or is there a reason you prefer YM? I mainly trade YM because I've been trading YM pretty much every day in the morning. So every day for the past 8 years, I've been trading. Where the fuck's my mouse at? The hell? Sorry, guys, 1 second. I don't know why my mouse doesn't. Oh, it's weird. Okay, I see it right now. Sorry, guys. I was like confused because I have three screens, and for some reason my cursor over here wouldn't go to my main screen. But yeah, Tron, back to your question. So. I prefer YM because that's just what I've been trading for the past 8 years. I've been trading it live every day, every morning, same time every day for 8 years. So that's why I've learned to understand how it moves. I understand its tendencies and the cycles that it goes through. That's the main reason. I mean, if I started trading NQ early on, I probably would have been still trading NQ now. If I started trading ES, then yeah, I would have continued to trade ES. That's the main real reason. Thing is, like, you can find an edge in any asset, but I would recommend just sticking to one and like really mastering that one asset. NQ is too volatile for me. That's another reason I don't really like it that much. And ES is a little too slow. So YM is a good in between, and I understand how YM moves, so that's why I use it. All right, so the entry right here, guys. The entry right here at 751, it's going to be a buy entry. So unfortunately, it's not going to be a trade that I'm looking to take because I was looking to take it for a sell, right? If you look at the probabilities over here, it doesn't necessarily mean the buys are going to lose, but it has a 50% probability compared to a 87% probability. So I'm going to go with the trade that has a higher probability here, right? Which is going to be uh, a sell. So with that being the case, unfortunately, there's no entry here for me because I would have taken this for a sell. You can see the sell there is now running. The next entry is going to be right next to it. It's going to be also a buy. So I'm not looking to take that. Yeah, honestly, I don't think I'm going to have any entries today, guys, unfortunately. I'm looking at the list over here, and this is also going to be a buy, and my setup for that was going to be for a sell. So the only hope that I have for entry here is going to be the 753 for a buy. And I'm looking at the statistics over here, and it's not great. It's not even a target entry for me. Yeah, unfortunately, it's not looking like this is going to be a day for me to take any trades. There was two trades today. Unfortunately, I sat out on these for obvious reasons, but I mean it's not that bad, right? I'm okay with not taking a trade. But yeah, these two entries over here, these are not even target entries for me. They're just setups that I marked up. Either way, none of them lined up because the 751 here was for a buy. I was aiming for a sell. 752 over here was also a buy, but I was aiming for a sell. Yeah, again, like I mentioned before, guys, just because it has a higher probability doesn't mean it's not going to work out or that it's not going to play out. But the thing is, the night before, I already choose my direction. So I do all of my decision making the night before. And when it comes time for executing the trades, if it comes up, I take it. If it doesn't come up, I don't take anything, right? So if you guys want to take the trade here at 753, this is going to be for a buy. But I don't like the fact that this trade is fading everything else, right? Because the thing is, these two trades are for a sell for 751, 752. This trade here is for a buy. I don't like when the trades fade each other like that. I like when they go in the same direction. So if this here was going to be for a sell, then it would have been great because all of them would have pointed for a sell. But these two are for a sell and this one's for a buy. So either these two are going to lose and this one's going to win, or this one's going to win and or these two are going to win and this one's going to lose. So I don't necessarily like that when they're going against each other. So yeah, guys, unfortunately, like I said, there's no entries here for me today. There's two entries that I lined up. So 709 was a target entry. I didn't take it because it was a choppy market at the time. And then over here at 721, there was another entry, but I didn't take it because I was looking for a sell, right? It was a buy entry, but I was looking for a sell. So looking at the entry over here, um, let's go back to the 751. I think the 751 is currently running. This is the entry that I actually wanted to take. Unfortunately, it just didn't line up for a sell, it was for a buy. Yeah. So these are the stats for today, guys. There's only two entries here that kind of lined up with what I was looking for, but the volatility just didn't line up with what I was looking for, so I didn't take them. But they did hit. So for today's algo entries that I actually looked to take, um, they set up right here for two wins back to back, no losses for a 4R. All right, it's cool. Today's a toss up. So looking at the charts for this week, there's been 2 days where I didn't take trades. I didn't take anything on Monday. I also didn't take anything on Thursday. So two no trading days. I only took two trades for this week, Tuesday and Wednesday. They both won. And these are my statistics for the week so far. We have one more trading day tomorrow, 24th. Hopefully the algo will provide more opportunities for entry for tomorrow, but I'm okay with like lesser entries because lesser entries actually work a little better because you can focus just on those versus like 20 of them, right? If you look at my post over here for my algo, so for right now, it's like it's very minimal, right? It's like one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. Basically 10 entries for the entire day, or not the entire day, but for the 2 hours I'm trading. And then if you look over here at my entries from like earlier this month, so we'll go back to like, see, you compare it to October 13th, we had like, well, I was also looking at the 5 a.m. entries too, but there was still a lot of 7 a.m. entries here. Think we had like 20 or 30 entries come up. This is fine, guys. So even if the algo is giving lesser entries, this means that the algo is learning the new market and it's adapting to the new market. So there's going to be periods where there's going to be lesser trades. And then eventually, once the market starts to move consistently, with the new data, then it's going to provide more opportunities for entry. But right now, there's only a couple entries here that kind of lined up in comparison to what we usually have. Yeah, and it's only because my criteria is very strict. All right, question from Michael. Michael is asking, what indicator has the ATR? It is the trailing stop, Michael. It is the trailing stop. So if you go to your indicators, go to invite only scripts, go to Kodi Kai trailing stop right here, or K2 trailing stop. And then when you go to that, go to the settings and then click show ATR. And then you can choose where you want it, bottom center, bottom right, top, wherever you want it. And that's where you would have it. Just go to the settings as well, because initially it'll have these lines on the chart. This is if you're looking to have a dynamic trailing stop, but we only use this for like longer holds. You can just close that out so it cleans up the chart. But that's how you get the ATR right here at the bottom. Yeah, no problem, Michael. Question from Masij. Masij is asking, is the algo private? Can premium users access it? So we actually closed access to the algo, but I gave access to you, Masij. So you have access to it. Just go here to indicators, go to invite only scripts, and then go to Kodi Kai momentum algorithm. That's how you'll get the algo down here. Yeah, I gave you access to it. We closed access to it last week because we didn't want a lot of people using it, but I gave access to you because I know you're new. You probably want to play around with it. You're probably going to find some pretty cool edge. Like for example, Surin, he trades gold. We talk about Surin almost every day. I think he's on here right now, but he's in the office, so he can't really participate. But I always like to show, like it's crazy because I don't trade gold, but Surin trades gold. And so he started trading gold on October 9th, right? Basically 2 weeks ago. He started with, I think, 1,000 euros. And every day he's been locking in like, 600 euros, 700 euros. So within 2 weeks, he got up to 4,000 euros within a week, and then 6,000 euros. And then more recently, he locked in a total profit of, or not total profit, but he's currently at like 13,000 euros now. So he grew his account from 1,000 euros to nearly 13,000. This is from last week, but he took a couple more trades. So he's up like close to 13,000 euros. So he made basically, um, I don't even know the number, but what is that, like 1,300%? I don't know, whatever it is. But yeah, basically he made like such a crazy profit trading gold really like outside the session. So yeah, you can trade anything. So any asset, you don't have to trade YM, you can trade ES, uh, GC, and Q. CL, whatever you want, really. There just has to be volatility. The algorithm will pull the statistics for any asset, so you can kind of play around with it. Yeah, Masih said, yeah, I was already looking for an edge on ZS. That's my favorite market. Been trading it for 6 years. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to look at it, what TP stop loss do you usually use for ZS? Yeah, I'll just pull it up real quick. Soybean. You're probably the first person here who actually trades soybean. Yeah, you can run the algo on it. I mean, I don't trade on it, so I don't know what the TP stop loss would be, points wise. But yeah, if you know what the TP stop loss, you could kind of play around with the settings here, and then you can identify, you can identify an edge. Gotcha. Okay, so he's usually 3-1 or 3-1. Yeah, let's see. Let's play around with it. Let's see with momentum, or maybe 31. Is that it? Yeah, you kind of have to play around with the settings. I don't know what the settings are because I don't trade soybean, but yeah, for some reason it shows no data here. But you kind of just have to play around with the settings to figure out. Maybe it's just the time. I don't know. Let's see. Because it looked like it was working earlier at like 10. There we go. So I think it depends on the time of entry. Oh, because I guess maybe the soybean isn't open or it's not supposed to be open like certain times. Oh, okay, okay. So this is the thing with this to keep in mind, Masish, is that the time difference, right? So if you're trading YM, the time difference, it's based off, it's whatever the system time is. So for CS over here, the time is set to Central Time. If you're trading gold, it's set to Eastern Time. For soybean over here, I don't know what time it's set to. Here, let's see. I can just kind of pull up the data. So I have a setup here that's marked up. It's at so this is my time, or let's see, my time here is going to be at 7 o'clock. Okay, so it's a 2 hour differential. It's basically the same thing as YM. It's a 2 hour difference. So depending on like what time you want to trade, I don't know where your time zone is, but you would just base it off Central Time, Central Standard Time. Like if I wanted to look at setups here, I would just kind of play around with it. You said you use 3-1, so I'll kind of change this up a little bit. Yeah, you'll see which probabilities have a higher win ratio or not. I don't know if 3-1 is going to be the best, but let's see if I do something higher, 5-2. And this is how you could figure out. You just kind of play around with the targets. So if it gets better, then you're like, okay, you try to find that sweet spot where the probability is above like 60, above 50 would be good. So 20, 10. Okay, so see how the probability is going up higher? This shows that the algorithm is finding that this specific asset, soybean, is good when you're using a 20-point target and a 10-point stop loss. Because see how the probability is going up higher? So you're going against momentum. Usually at this time at 12 o'clock or 10 o'clock my time is going to be a reversal period. You can see here it has a 57% probability of it winning overall for buys and sells. And for buys specifically, it's a 62.50%. Right. And again, here you can just kind of play around with it. This is how you would figure out basically your edge. So see how the probability is going up higher? Now that I keep moving it up, I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to find a really good edge, right? So this is actually pretty decent. Not great, but decent. It shows that it shows that at 10 o'clock my time, Pacific time, it shows that it has a 58% probability overall, and it has a 66.67 for buys. So basically 4 out of the 6 buys won. And you can just keep playing with it to kind of figure out once you find that sweet spot, then you're like, okay, perfect. I'll just trade at that time and with those parameters. So right here, you can see it's not moving up too much. Let's see, 50, 25. You'll know you went too far if the probability starts to go lower, right? Right now it's at 58. So see how it's going lower now? It's at 54. You might be going too far out. And at that point, you're like, okay, maybe I should shift it back to something tighter. So yeah, that's how you would play around with it and kind of figure out where your sweet spot is. But yeah, you can use this on pretty much any asset. You just got to play with the settings and figure out what has the highest probability. And if you want to use a screener, there's also a screener for it. Um, it's not on this chart, it's on this one. You could play around with it. You'll find the screener. There's a screen that comes up over here, and if you want to just see, so see for example here, if you want to see what the probabilities are for like the top 10 trades within a time period, you can find them right there. So it's super useful. Super useful. And again, if you guys want access to this, if you guys have been around for a while, again, we're not really trying to share this with like the general public, but if you guys have been following me for a while and you want access to this algo to kind of play around with it yourself, just go to the website. It is Kodi Kai Cap or KodiKaiTrades.com. Click on strategies and you'll get access to it there. If you guys want me to trade for you, and you want to be participate in my hedge fund, basically, if you want everything hands free, all you do is you just open your app in the morning to see what I made for you. This is a website right here. It's Kodi Kai Capital Wealth Management. It's kodikaicapital.com. You click on this interested in investing button right here, and then it'll give you this form. Once you fill out this form, it'll send the information to the regulators, and they'll give you they'll either approve you or deny you for me to trade for you. And then if they approve you, then we'll move forward with the agreement. And then all you do is you need to fund your NinjaTrader account with at least 10,000 to cover the broker margin, and you choose your risk. So if you want to do one contract, you could risk as little as $100 per trade to make 200 because we're doing a 1 to 2. And you just pay a monthly service fee. You'll pay that monthly service fee at the beginning of the service, and then you keep all your profits at the end of the month. If you don't want to pay up front and you want to wait till the end of the month, we can do that, but then it's going to be a 50-50 split at the end of the month. So you have two options: either pay a service fee that's very small, it's equal to 1 day's trading, or you can do the 50-50 profit split, but you're going to pay way more than what you would pay as a service fee. So you kind of have to, there's a balance there. Obviously, you guys can see my consistency, so it makes more sense to pay the service fee up front versus the split. But you have the option. Siege said amazing, so exciting. I already know it's going to be experiment. I'll be experimenting late tonight. Is there a Discord channel to post some good strategies I find? Yes, 100%. So Masij, you're part of the premium here, I believe, right? Or I mean, you should be. Yeah, because you got on the Discord. So if you go over here to Algo under premium, this is where everybody talks about the algo. So if you find like good settings and you want to share, and then you can collaborate with somebody else to like kind of work on a specific strategy or parameters, you can talk right here under the algo. You could also talk under the premium chat. So these two right here are only for premium members. So everyone who has access to the algo will pretty much be in here, and then you can talk amongst like the other premium members where you guys can kind of work on the edge. Yeah, Misty said, I hope someone wants to collaborate on soybean. I'm pretty sure if you find an edge where you could make profit, I think someone else would definitely want to jump in on that with you and split the work, because it's going to be a lot of work to find the perfect settings. But once you find out those perfect settings, it kind of just becomes a money printer for you, right? Like if you followed our algo entries for this week, guys, it's been pretty much on fire. Monday had, I think, 9 or 8 back-to-back wins. Tuesday had like 7 back-to-back wins. Yesterday had 6 back-to-back wins. Again today, it was 2 back-to-back wins. I didn't take any trades, but it had 2 back-to-back wins. So yeah, pretty decent trading day today. I will mark this up so that you guys can see. I know a lot of you guys like to go back and just review what we did for the day. So I will take a screenshot of this. But I took no trades. So here are my statistics for the month, or for the week actually. So these are all my profits for the week. I haven't taken any trades, so these are my stats basically. Win on Tuesday, win on Wednesday, no trades today, no trade on Monday, one more trading day tomorrow to close out the week. And here are the team profits. So nice. Arik was really, really close to passing his account. Nice work, Arik. He was $28 short to passing. Yeah, it looks like these right here, this one. So nice work, Arik. One more trade tomorrow and you're good. You'll be funded on that. Yeah, pretty solid. So let me check over here real quick, make sure there's no other questions. Jonathan's done, Sam's done. Other than that, let me scroll over here real quick. Rev said, can you show your calendar for September? September was a bad month. So th this is to show you guys that like trading isn't always going to be working in your favor. Um, so yeah, my September was probably the worst month that I've had probably ever. The reason for this is because we were applying the orb. So if you guys remember the orb, I was applying the orb for a while. Like basically, so I mean it's not a horrible month. So like basically it was a red month for me, but I in August was good and July was good. So I was already up. So I was up 167,000. Here, I'll show you every month. Let's just go through the whole year. So I want to show you that trading is not going to be linear, right? If you look at my stats over here, you're going to have months where it's going to be really good and you're going to have months that are sometimes going to be really bad. So you can see over here, price was going, we did really good between January until July. That's when the tariff news came out. And then we just had a lot of choppiness. It was a lot of back and forth, right? And then price came up again. And then in September, we had some more tariff news and then it created a very, very choppy market. So I had a bunch of losses over here. And this is because I changed strategy. I should have never changed my strategies. The thing is, this whole year I was doing momentum. And then I found an edge with the orb strategy, right? So we started applying the orb strategy, and that's where I screwed up because I'm not an orb trader. I trade momentum. I've been trading momentum for years. And for whatever reason, I just kind of thought, okay, I should do the orb because everybody's doing the orb right now. That's where I made the biggest mistake. I was like, okay, that's not what I should have been doing. So let's go back to January real quick. So January over here, you can see we had a pretty normal month. I had 72,000 for that month. And then looking over here in February, we had again a normal month, 95,000. And then over here for March, we had a pretty good month. This was like our first good month, really good month for the year, and I made 242,000. April was kind of choppy. This is when I think this is when the war started happening with Israel and Gaza, right? This is when the war broke out and the market was just very volatile and choppy. So this was my first red month for the year. It was 59,000 loss. It was fine because I was already up so heavily from January, February, March. And then May over here was an okay month. We were still trying to bounce back from like the craziness in the market. June over here was good, was decent month, made 50,000 on that month. July over here was a really good month. This is where the market started to kind of stabilize a little bit and move a lot more smoother. August again was a pretty good month. I didn't take very many trades, but we had some pretty good entries right there, and I had a total of 133. Then September this was a mess because this is when like the tariff news came out. Uh, yeah, there was just a lot of stuff happening in September that was like causing the market to move back and forth. The thing is, we traded directional entries for the orb, and the orb just wasn't directional. It was like you get into the position, it chops you out, and then it goes into profit. So this is where I kind of screwed up because I went from applying momentum pretty much every month. Uh, that's stuck. Yeah, I went from applying momentum pretty much every month to applying a different strategy that I wasn't too familiar with. And yeah, it kind of screwed me up. But the thing is, I didn't really go into the red because I was in the red. I was profitable here. And I basically just threw away a lot of my August profits. And then in October, so we started applying the algo from the 29th up until today. So you can see I pretty much made a massive amount of see, I don't know why it does this. I'm looking at my trader sync right now, and for some reason it doubles up my positions and it says I took a lot of more trades that I didn't. This is one thing that I don't like about about trader sync. It is it's not very accurate sometimes. So I always have to go back and turn off like because if you look over here, I have a bunch of accounts that are listed. Like it's crazy. Like I have the main Apex accounts, but then I have like all of these down here. So I have to go and make some changes again to turn off a couple of accounts. But yeah, TraderSync has a couple issues with syncing the trades. So yeah, those are my trades for the year and for the month. Yeah, no problem, Rev. It's good to be transparent and to understand that that the market's not always going to be moving 100% in your favor. But I think with the algo here, it's adapting with the market. Sorry, guys, daughter's crying. Let me grab her. I just realized it's it's 8:15. So it's Alina's time right now. Is my daughter, guys. All you guys know my daughter by now. Um, yeah, it's her playtime right now. So I think I answered all the questions over here. Uh Thanks, Missy. Yeah, if you've been on the live sessions, you guys have seen my daughter Alina. She's the one that's gonna take over once I'm gone. She's gonna keep running this algo, hopefully become a even better quant trader than we are here now, and just improve on this. But yeah, Rev said so it's so I can compare previous months while the algo is moving forward. Yes, okay. So if you're going to compare the algo rev, go from September 29th forward, because that's when we started using the algo. September is not, we didn't use the algo back then. We were applying the orb, so it's gonna be skewed data. So I basically you would go from the 29th and on from there. Thanks, Lila. Yeah, I know. Look at her, she's all happy now. She was crying, but she's reading your messages, guys. It's funny because the Zoom's right here. Hey, baby. All right, so let's see. Arik took another scalp and he passed another one. Nice work, Arik. So Arik is now funded on multiple accounts. Great work right there. Arik was only a few dollars away, and he took one more scalp, and he's funded. So big congrats to Arik right there, passing his accounts. Let's see. Will said, do you think you'll ever have a red month with the algo? I hope not. The thing is, the algo is always adapting with the market, so I'm always going to have the highest probability entries. The thing is, if the algo doesn't have entries, I'm just not going to trade, right? So I'm hoping that, that will never be the case, where we do have a red month, but we'll see. I don't want to jinx it, but this algo is pretty accurate, so as long as I stick to my criteria and I only take trades that have above a 65 to 75% probability of it winning, I think we should be good. I think we should be good in the long run. But all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. Again, if you guys want access to the algo, you can go to the website, go to kodikaitrades.com, click on strategies here. If you guys want access to the hedge fund and you don't want to trade and you just want me to do everything for you, hands-free, go to kodikaicapital.com and just fill out this form and then we'll see if you're a good fit. If you're a good fit, I'll trade for you. If not, then you can still kind of trade, on your own. Just follow me here on the live stream. But all right, guys, I think that's it for the day. I know, Sam, you see her like almost every day now. But all right, guys, I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hit me up. Otherwise, it's Alina's time. So I'm gonna go hang out with her, and I'll see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session.